Hey, what's going on, Fish Tank World? Aqua Redneck here. And this is my first video, episode 1. And we're going to see how this goes. Just going to show you a video tour of my 90-gallon Dutch planted tank in the making. I know what you're saying. This doesn't look much like a Dutch planted. But hey, if you saw it about 3 months ago when I started this tank in January to where it is now, you'd understand where I'm going with this tank. Also, I just did a trim on this yesterday, did a water change, so it doesn't look very good. Doesn't feel very filled out at the moment, but it's getting there. Eventually, got some more plants in there. Haven't got them planted. I've got some more coming Wednesday, so that's why they're just floating around in there. But we'll touch on more of that later. Show you some pictures of what the tank looked like when I first planted it to the way it looked Sunday before I did the trim on it. And then what you see now. But we'll get back to all that another time. We'll do another video tour of. But right now, I wanted to show everybody how I have this tank set up and what I'm using on this tank. And what you're looking at right now is my Apex system and my Vortech MP10 controller for my wireless circulation pump. Also in the middle, right there and right there, are the timers for my current USA Satellite Plus lights, and all they do is control my moonlight that comes on during the morning for 3 hours and then the evening for the transition between my BML fixtures. But we'll touch more on that here in a little bit. Now the Apex controller, I won't go into too much detail about it. They're made for reef tanks basically, but you can use them on a freshwater tank. And if you guys want to see a more in-depth detail on how you can use these on a freshwater tank and how they can become useful in your planted tank, leave me a comment below. I'll do one, and because there's really a lot of detail you can do on the Apex. It can have its own video all alone, to be honest with you. But I'm using the Apex controller. It's got internet function to where I can pull it up in a browser, program my lights, my CO2, UV, heater, everything. It's got temp probes. I mean, it's just It's a great device to have if you can afford it. It's really overkill. I live in Texas. You know how they say bigger is better, or we do it big in Texas. Well, this is proof right here. We kind of go overboard, but it's nice. I love it. I mean, you can see right there is my Wi-Fi adapter, so I can connect to it from the internet from my iPhone, and just basically make any kind of settings to the profiles, the outlets that control everything, and it just makes it really headache free and maintenance free for me, because I can just I mean, all I have to do is just do my dosing daily and do my water changes weekly and feed the fish, and everything else is done with the Apex. So if you want to see a video on the Apex and how it's used in depth and just how you can use it on your freshwater aquarium or planted tank, just leave me a comment below. I mean, like I said, these are used really widely in the reef tank community, but you can use them in the freshwater planted tank community as well. Also, like I said, right here is my Ecosmart Vortech MP10 circulation pump driver. It's also tied into the Apex. Also tied into my Apex are my BML Build My LED lights. I have 2 of them that are 10K planted, and they ramp from 10% all the way to 100%. And if you don't know about the Build My LED fixtures, check them out online. I'll leave a link to them in the description below. Contact Cara or Nick, Randy, any of those guys over there. They're great. They're great people over there, and they build some quality lights, both for the reef side and the planted tank, and I couldn't be happier. They tie into this Apex system, which is another great functionality of it, to where I can ramp my lights up and down and just have them on a timer, different intensities, so I can gradually ease my lights into it. But we'll touch on more of that in another video for lighting. But that's what I have. Apex, the 2 current USA ramp timers for my moon lights, which pretty much just my daylights, or pretty much my moon lights for the morning and evening for the transition from the BMLs. The Vortech pump. Also have 2 Hydor Corellia pumps in here. They have different GPHs for different things. surface agitation, moving around the CO2, different things like that. Also, you can see down here my CO2 bottle. I'm using an Aquatech regulator on there. It's the premium one, to where I can adjust the flow on it. Not just with a needle valve, but I can also adjust the pressure on there, which is really great. I have it set about 40 psi to about 2-3 bubbles per second. I really don't know how anybody can know exactly what is going on, or exactly how many bubbles per second those are. If you can, great. You obviously got some pretty good eyes. Oh, also another thing, I have a UPS down here. The UPS is also connected to the Apex, or at least one of the power bars. One of the EB8s right here, and then one of the EB8s here that control everything else. One of those is connected to the UPS. Now what it does is, if I lose power, everything on this UPS right here has all my everything that I'm going to need to keep this tank running, like the filter, air pumps, just the necessities to keep this tank up in case there is a power failure. It'll keep it up for about 6 to 8 hours. And the other one is direct. That one right there has everything else on it, and it is tied into just a regular wall power into a GFCI outlet. Now what the Apex will do because of that, I said I wouldn't go into detail, but this is a really cool feature about it, how you can use it on your planet tank. What it'll do is, when you lose power, since that one's in the wall power, it'll send a message to the Apex controller to say, hey, there's no power. It'll send me an email. It'll also sound an alarm. It'll let me know in case I'm not home, hey, you've lost power at the house. But it'll only do that because that one's in the wall power, that one's in the UPS. So the UPS will still power that bar, while that one's telling it we don't have power. Send a message out, email them, let them know. It's a cool function to have. I like it. You don't have to have an Apex, but if you have the money to spend on it, I would highly recommend doing it. It would really make your life easy. But moving on, like I said, there's a CO2 bottle. It's a 5-pound bottle. I think it's a 5-pound bottle. Yeah, 5-pound bottle. Aquatech regulator. That's also tied into my Apex controller. Comes on an hour before the lights come on. And I'll have it set to the pH controller, or the pH probe, excuse me, to where if the pH gets too low in the tank, I have it set to like 1 point from where it normally tops out at during the night. So if it gets too low, it'll shut the CO2 down for about 15 minutes. Let the pH come up, and that helps me to keep from gassing the fish out. And it seems to be working really well for me. I mean, I've got a drop checker up there as well, and then monitoring the pH. It really helps out. Right here is my Eheim Professional 3. I think it's a 2083 model. I've got mixed reviews about this, guys. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but it's really dirty. It's actually putting out more than it normally does. But I'm only getting half of the pressure out of this thing. And I've called Eheim, and they wanted me to send it back. I mean, this thing is brand new. Well, I set it up 3 months ago when I set this tank up brand new. And I've gone through everything I know to do. But, I mean, overall, I guess it does what it needs to do. It's quiet. It seems to be doing a good job filtering. I've got custom. Let me see if I can get up in here a little bit better. Yeah, you can see up in there. I've cut everything out in here. I've got my 2 intakes coming in, and everything's hard plumbed with PVC. Once you go outside these lines, you go out and it's connected to PVC. It goes up, made of custom spray bar. We'll look at that here shortly. But you have your 2 intakes. Outtake goes out right over here to my Aquametic CO2 reactor right here. Line from the CO2 goes out the back, comes in right here, goes into the CO2 reactor, which then mixes the CO2 from the new water coming out of the filter, gets 100% dissolved without the microbubbles, and that's one thing I like. I hate that 7-Up look. From there it goes out, goes down. You really can't see it because I have all this junk in the way, all these bottles and junk, just junk. Goes into my high door inline filter. or not filter, what am I saying? My high door inline heater is 300 watts. It's overkill, but like I said, I mean, this is a 90 gallon. A lot of people like to go lower than what your tank is recommended for in case it gets stuck on, which that is a very good point to have. I mean, have a lower heater than what you need for your tank in case it does get stuck on. You don't fry your fish. But since I'm using an Apex, I've got the temperature probe, which will shut it off, shut power off to it altogether if it gets too hot. So I have this set at like 84 degrees. I have my tank set like between like 75, 76. I mean, if it ever gets stuck on, the Apex is going to turn it off. I mean, plain and simple, it's going to turn it off. And then from there, the heater, it goes up. We can see it up there. Goes into my Core Life UV sterilizer. It is off. You don't need a sterilizer. I only use it for emergencies. It's just in case. I mean, it's better to have it in there now when I did this build. It's good to have it in there just in case you need it, instead of having to go in there and wire or plumb it in later. And I like it. In case you get an algae bloom, hey, you just go to my phone, turn it on. It's set. And let's see. Let me show you a little. As you can see, it's off right now. I mean, if you look at this light right there, that tells you that it's off. But if there's ever a time I need it, in case I get an algae bloom, which is very rare, or there's some kind of, one of the fish gets sick and start funking all over my tank, I have a UV sterilizer to use. Now, I'll turn it on from my phone. As you can see now, the light had just come on. That's a great function I can have with the Apex, with the app and everything. And it's just there, like I said, just in case I need it. It's better to have it in there now than having to go back in there and put it in later. So that's basically the overall guts, brains of what you want to call it, of the bottom of the cabinet. And just overview again, I got my Apex, my Vortech Pump, which I'm not sure. Oh, it's just doing it on the camera. It's flashing wireless on and off, but I see it's only doing the camera. CO2, UPS, battery backup. Got the filter. CO2 reactor, inline heater, and UV sterilizer. And it's hard plumbed. Everything's hard plumbed. Custom spray bar. And we'll take a look at that right now. Let's go up to the top of the tank and look at the lighting and the plumbing. But first, let's take a look at, like I said, there's my MP10 circulation pump that's coming from that driver down there. And it's just one. I mean, I would like to get another one to put on the other end to connect to it and get better circulation. But I had the high doors in there. There's my GLA Pearl drop checker I've got. And if you can see right back there, it's right there. It's one of my high door pumps. I believe that's a 660 gallon per hour. That's spraying everything down right now. And then the bubbles are coming from a pump, an air pump, which comes on. I've got it situated behind that driftwood, so everything's hidden. The airline tubing is run under the substrate. It's run up. Everything's nice and hid away and tucked away to where you can't see it. Air pump comes on when the CO2 goes off. About an hour after the CO2 goes off and the lights, because the CO2 turns off an hour before the lights go off, because it's going to be a waste of CO2. And then once the lights go off, then the air comes on, helps the pH rebound, oxygenates the tank, and just basically gets some surface agitation on the water and resets everything for the next photosynthesis period, the next day. Right there, you can see there's my, all the way across, my custom spray bar that I made. I had a clear PVC. Like I said, everything's hardwired, or not hardwired, excuse me, hard plumbed all the way down to the filter where you have the vinyl tubing that connects it up. So right there, you can see PVC, clear, spray bar. And I'm not getting just a great output, like I said. It's not shooting across the tank like it should be. Everyone's saying, "Oh, you're using the wrong kind of tubing. It's too big." Actually, no. I've actually put the stock tubing on there from the Eheim, connected everything up, and it still was junk. I didn't get the output I was looking for, but I mean, it's doing what it needs to do. I guess, for what it needs to do. The intake is also custom. It's clear. I've got one that goes down. You can't see it. It's like right here behind the plant. Everything's hidden, and I like it's low profile. And that's what I like about this tank is everything's just real nice and clean and low profile. So I have the intakes on two on each side. One is about halfway up. One is down about an inch or so above the substrate. So I'm getting good filtration from both the top and the bottom. And also right there, you can see there's my other high-door Aquarium pump. It's getting good surface agitation up here. Not a lot to where a lot of CO2 is escaping, but just enough to just get all the funk that builds up there moving and whatnot. So that's a look at the plumbing, some of the inside stuff of the tank. Go back here. You really can't tell, but right there you can see the probes that go to the apex, which is the ORP, pH and temp probe is in there as well. And while we're here, we'll go ahead and get a quick look of the tank, a little close up. My styrogen repins, my rainbow fish. Now my baby tears, I'm having a real hard time getting these things to grow. And I really don't know what the deal is. I mean, I've got the CO2 cranking, I got the highlight, 2 10K BML fixtures. I mean, the stuff is healthy, it's green, but it just doesn't spread, and I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if I'm going to rip it out or not. But I've got some more plants coming Wednesday. So that's why the dwarf hairgrass is chilling just chilling right there in the pot. I have those plants. I've got a plant too, but I've decided to wait till Wednesday when I get them all at one time and just do it all then. Some Bluxa japonica I've got coming. I think I'm going to move the styrogen repins, move them forward a little bit, put the Bluxa behind it, give it a good little depth step up. And that's pretty much it. And so let's take a look at the lights now and above the tank and the canopy. Alright, like I said, there's my 2 custom length BML 10K fixtures. They're really great. They can ramp up from 10% to 100% with the apex control. Right there in the middle is the Current USA Satellite Plus lights. Like I said, I use one fixture for morning, one fixture for the evening, just for transition between the BMLs, just for mostly ambient. Alright, and got one of the fixtures there in the back, as you can see. 46, and I love these lights, guys. I mean, if you're in the market for lights, they're a little pricey, but you do get what you pay for with these lights. I mean, they make them from scratch when you order them, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, if you want some more product reviews on this light, I won't go into too much depth because this video is getting longer than I had wanted it to. And there's my shelf I built into my canopy. You really can't see right there. There's my doser. I'm not using it right now. I've got to figure out a way to mount these bottles I have for it, and also the gravity wants to pull out more than what I want to dose. So once I get that figured out, I'm not real in a big hurry. Right now, I remember the dose every morning, so it's not that big of a deal. And you see I got good surface agitation. So that's a look at my tank. Everything I'm running on it. So if you want some more videos, some how-tos, some descriptions, some more in-depth, maybe on the Apex, the BML, what I'm doing what on this tank, how I'm doing how on this tank. I mean, like I said, I live in Texas. We do things big, so a lot of this is overkill, and I wasn't planning on going to real big in-depth detail. Just want to give a general overview of how my tank is doing, what I'm doing, how it's set up, as this is the first video. I know it's a little rough around the edges. They'll get better as they go along. So let me know, what do you think? What do you want to see? You want me to do a video on the Apex, on how I'm using it on the freshwater tank, review on these build my LEDs, CO2, some of the plants, fish. Let me know what you want to see, what you want to hear, and I'll do a video. So comment, rate, subscribe, share, and This is Aqua Redneck from Texas. Y'all have a good evening.